Okay, good news. We are back in business. It's the afternoon, so let's just kind of change the time. 3:55, almost 4 o'clock, so it should be getting dark soon, but it's the first day of February still, and lo and behold, the snow has cleared enough, I think, to allow us to put seeds in the ground. So some internal debate whether or not I should try to get the seeds in the ground today, or whether I should let it roll over into the second day of February and deal with the seeds, deal with the seeding then. But you know what? I think I'm going to take. I'm looking at the forecast, and it looks like we're going to be clear enough this afternoon where we could probably get the seeds in the ground without worrying about too much snowfall. And then I honestly don't know what the second day of February is going to bring for us. So so I think we're going to put the time down to about 1 here, and we're going to get seeds in the ground today. So I'm going to get this brought back over to the yard. We'll leave these seeds on the trailer. I still can't believe that deal we got. We'll leave these seeds on the trailer, and then we'll bring, what we're going to do is we're going to lease a planter for today. I'm not going to purchase that. So the one planter anyway, we're going to go to the store and figure it out, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to lease a planter because we did see that one planter that's like 40 grand or whatever. I think it was a 6-meter planter, around $40,000, has a reasonable capacity. But I think what I might do is lease, there's a 9-meter planter that does both fertilizer. Oh, wait a minute. Do I need the weight? Yes, I do need the weight because we're going to get a roller also. So let's do this. We'll leave the trailer here. Get that loader arm out of the way so I don't hit this roller. So we have this roller here that's set up as a grass roller. So I don't know if you can see, but there's that red bar on the back of it. So that denotes that we set it up as a grass roller. There's the exact same roller for sale in the shop right now for like $8,000. And we could set that one up as a field roller. So then we would have both. So I think we're going to do that with this tractor. So we're going to take this back over to the store so this one can purchase the roller. But yeah, we're going to lease the planter. Lease the planter, bring it back over here, fill it up with seed and fertilizer, and then go hit the fields and get our cotton planted, which is pretty cool. This is all based on my unscientific meteorological predictions that it's not going to snow very much for the rest of the day, so we'll see no accumulation. So let's see how that actually pans out. Hopefully we're all right. I was also somewhat concerned that the planting might take long and we may end up going into the night or running out of time. But honestly, with 400 and some odd horsepower, and if we can get this 9-meter planter working, then I think we'll have no problem. And what I'll do is we'll get a worker on the planting, and then I'll put the roller on this, and I'll basically roll more or less behind the planter, and then we'll kind of take care of both at the same time for the most part, and we should be good. So in full disclosure, this is actually when we left off after putting the seeds on the trailer, or attempting to anyways, this is the next physical in real life next day, and also the next year, because I was recording the previous one on New Year's Eve, and now it's New Year's Day. So we literally started this episode last year, and are finally getting her done. Oh shoot! I just realized I've got the loader. I kept the loader arms on, but all right, whatever. We're gonna put the roller on the back. So just keep it about there, and I'll just make sure not to crush it. Okay, so let's get this out of the way for a minute. Just park it up here, they won't mind. Obviously missed having beacons. You'll be seeing a lot of those. Hello. Okay, so let's go into the store. Okay, the roller is right here. So for $8,000. So obviously it's like a $16,000 roller. We have our grass roller configured like this, so it has this bar on it. I don't really know what that does to make it a grass roller, but grassland roller right there, roller right there. So we'll end up having two basically the exact same roller looking, but they'll have different functionality. Then we'll come in here to planters. So this was what I was going to purchase. And we thought we were doing a bit of a stretch because it takes 220 horsepower. But honestly, once we plant these fields, I'm not planting anything else until next fall. I say that now. I'll probably end up having to get a seeder or a planter again anyways for some stupid reason. But that's it. So what I was looking at was down here. The capacity is quite a bit less, actually. This thing holds a lot. 5,400 liters. Actually, look at that. This thing only needs 180 horsepower. This is actually pretty good unit here. This one's got a bigger capacity and takes more horsepower. And there's just a massive jump after this. I mean, you go from $89,000. This thing's only 4 meters, so that doesn't sound very appealing. Although it looks cool. I mean, at 12 meters and 9,000 liters, we like jump way up in price. Although I guess I could look. So this thing's going to cost $10,000 to lease. And this is half the price. So let's cheap out here. Cheap out. It's still not cheap. All right. Man, we went from a lot of green on the farm to a lot of red. Alright, let's go fill this up, and then we'll get a worker going in the field with this, and then we can come back and grab our roller and sort of follow in behind. So I'm going to try to be as efficient as possible so we don't end up with another massively long episode. I did kind of watch back through everything that we got recorded for the first half of this episode anyways. And yeah, I think it should. I'm guesstimating that it should be a reasonable overall length, but I guess we're gonna find out when I hit the edit, right? I don't really like to drop the time, like having the time up there at 1, but for now I'll just, I'll give myself a little leeway here, and just with these extenuating circumstances with the weather. I mean, it's not like I set it to halftime, I guess, so I'll try never to get to halftime. But then once this is done, we have the seeds in the ground, everything's rolled and we're good, then really the only other thing in regards to this farm that we could do in the winter is, at least until it's time to mow, is, maintain the animals. Oh, wait. What am I doing? I bought, so hold on. First I have some pallets over here by the greenhouse. And then I have, and you're probably like, what are you doing? You just drove past 7,000 liters of seeds, and then you have some other stuff over here. Let's use some of this stuff here. Okay, so now we could go. Now we could go and put some fertilizer in there. Yes, other than just sort of maintaining the animals, possibly selling off the silage, we could do that also. Really just, shuffling any pallets that come out of the greenhouses, bringing any fabric that comes from the spinnery, and dropping off any wool that needs to go for processing. There's really, we're sort of like coasting till we do the first cut of grass, basically. So So we'll see what we end up doing once these seeds are in the ground, as far as what else we're gonna do here. But okay, so I think instead of I don't think I need to use courseplay now. I think I can just use straight up AI workers. So we're gonna figure that out in a second here. Okay, I gotta remember, I think I have to unfold, yes. Transformer. We gotta set our seeds to cotton. It's funny, once the snow's gone, there's a little section of field right here, actually. Let's see what happens. All right, so we have cotton in the ground, a yield bonus of 72. Although over here where it's new field, we're at 95. So I think rolling it will help. And I think rolling will also bring the fertilized state up to 100%, right? So let me get the worker set up. All right, so we've got her. Oh man, this is gonna be good. I just can't wait to harvest it, make some money here. Okay, so let's go back to the store. We did not get any parking tickets. That's a bonus. So I think this is designed, honestly, I think this is designed to go on the front of your tractor, but you get quite unbalanced when you're driving around. So I think we're going to just slam this on the, oh, what? Because I think you can really put it on the front or the back, but honestly, it looks like, yeah, because it has white lights on it, so it would have red lights if it was for rear mounting, I guess. It probably doesn't really matter, but anyways, we'll put it on the back. It's definitely a more stable drive for transporting, I can tell you that much. And then we'll go see what is happening in the field. So what do you think of this episode? Man, our field situation has changed completely. And that we've essentially doubled our potential cotton harvest by adding all those additional fields. We've swapped out now both tractors, which is pretty wild. I did not really I knew that was going to come here eventually, and I mean, we had, especially with that other tractor, the one that was over 60 hours. I mean, I think the writing was on the wall for that one. It was going to be going soon. I mean, the small one definitely acknowledged it was underpowered, so we just needed the right opportunity to come up to make a trade, and sure enough, it did right here. So it's going to take a few minutes probably to get, like that once that person gets around both headlands, I think we can get going on the rolling. So let's just give them a few minutes so they can do that, and then we'll catch up with them as we hit the field. All right, I think we're safe here. There's one little patch here that they missed, so we're going to have to go and take care of that. Let's run a bit of a test here, and we'll see what the results say. Okay, so what do we have here? We have, oh look, this is a 95% yield bonus over here. I think we were getting less when we first looked, right? Unless it changes? I don't know. Okay, so 95%, 100% fertilized. We're not going to change that. So 97%. Now there was a little strip on the side here. Oh, look at that. Okay, so, oh, this should help too. So see on the field where there, so this is the section where there was a field already. It just says needs rolling. When I come over here to where this field was expanding, it's expanded. It says needs rolling and weeds growing. Let's look over here at the path. So this is where the little road was. Okay, so this is previous field. Needs rolling. Oh, and look at this. Fertilize 50%. Oh, well, I'm getting a mix of stuff here. Yeah, like there's a section right there that says fertilize 50%, weeds growing, 72% yield bonus. So when I come through here with the roller, that should eliminate the weeds, eliminate the notification for needs rolling, should bring fertilize up to 100%, and should get us to at least 95% yield bonus, I think. So let's... Is that right here too? That's interesting. Let's see how that works. Yeah, look at this. 50%, 72. Let's see what happens when we roll through there. Okay, this is one occasion where I think rolling is really going to make a difference for us. Alright, so same stretch. So 97% and 100% fertilized. All notifications are off. Oh. Okay. What? Alright, so it doesn't change the yield bonus. And doesn't change the fertilized state, but it does eliminate the weeds. Okay, so it's not all good, but it's definitely better. So I wonder what we can do. I guess once we're done, we'll go and see. Okay, let me move. I guess once we're done, we should be able to look at the map, I think, right? And then it should tell us sort of where the different states of fertilization. Like, I think it'll show like 2 different colors of blue or whatever, and then we should be able to also see just anything on the mini-map, basically. So once we're done, we'll take a good look at that and then figure out if there's any places we need to touch up. So I think, I don't know what that means though. Does that mean we can just get a fertilizer spreader and come in here and apply another layer of fertilizer, or do we have to get something like slurry or manure and throw it on there as like a different kind of fertilizer? I don't know what that means. And I'm suddenly realizing right now that as I'm rolling here, this is definitely going to be a larger project, I guess, maybe than I anticipated. So we may, who knows, it may be dark by the time I'm done, and we may have cut out some of this footage here just to be able to get her done. Oh, actually, I just noticed something as well. Did you notice the sign was down? So it's likely that when the planter came through here, it took the sign out, whereas the previous one, the cultivator was making the field stopped and was blocked by the sign. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, here's another section here actually where. Okay, so here's not rolled. Oh, look, so here it is 95%. Needs rolling and weeds growing. This section should just say needs rolling. Oh no, because this is all new field here, I think. Is it? But behind it, 97 and 100. Whatever. Anyways, you know what? There's no sense second guessing it very much right now. Let's just get through the whole thing and then we'll be able to see what the results are. Hopefully it will tell us anyways. The other bonus too is as we're rolling here, it is 100% changing the texture, so it's very easy to see where you've been, which means that I don't necessarily need the guidelines, which is good. They typically work for me best when there's like when you're dealing with like a spreader, so that way you got an idea of how that working with will, or like what your coverage is like anyways, what you're working with. As I'm not even rolling the field right there. I'm rolling the sideline, so I got to start maybe being a little more conscious of rolling the actual field. While I was on the sidelines over there watching the planter go around, I was wondering if there was an opportunity, and I don't know where we would get it, but so if you remember, there was a field in town that was like $75,000, I think, and I mentioned that might be a cool place to put our second farm, as far as like it's kind of like a yard. Like, so if our second farm was a lot of like crop, like some traditional farming, and I don't know what, maybe we pick a crop. Could be oil, for example. So let's say we want to do like sunflower and canola fields. So there's a centralized yard that we could buy to build out the next farm, and then maybe the last farm we choose like a pre-built farm. But yeah, so I'm gonna skip. I'm not gonna worry about it. You know, let's great. Let's roll over this, and then I can always come back and just come back with the planter and just put some more seed right in there. But yeah, maybe in the winter months we can buy that lot that I was looking at in the city, in the town or whatever, and we can begin, because there's probably about 6 or 8 trees on it, I think, so we can get those trees processed and put them into the sawmill. We can get gravel down and whatever kind of like landscaping we need, smooth out the lot or whatever. I don't know that we'd have the money to put in any buildings right away, and maybe if we don't know what we're doing yet over there, it might not be smart to start putting in buildings in case we put in something that doesn't fit what we need. But anyways, it might be good just to kind of get working on that. The other would also be great, like the field right there on the hill that I think I mentioned either earlier on in this episode or the last one. It's like $200,000, but it's got so many trees, and it's pretty close to our sawmill, so that would be a good cash injection for us. Basically, what we need to do is we need to earn a bunch of money so we can afford to fund the next farm. We're going to keep our eyes on that planter, and then get that guy moved. So at time of recording this, anyways, like I said, it's January 1st. I had episode 6 of New Frontier hit the airwaves, and so I've been reading the comments and responding and stuff, and I just had one of the cooler comments, funnier comments. I don't know if it's cool or funny or whatever, but it was a person that said they just discovered the channel, and they're a truck driver over in Sweden, and my rambling style of content creation reminded him of the conversations him and his trucker buddies have while they're working, where their topics can go all over the place. So I've yet to tell that to my 10-year-old, but he's about 60 days into Duolingo app, where he's been learning some rudimentary Swedish for some reason. It's like just said he wanted to learn Swedish, so yeah, I think I'll have to tell him about that later. I think he'll get a real kick out of that. I love hearing stuff like that. Not specifically that my commentary is reminiscent of Swedish truck driver conversation, but that there's somebody in Sweden listening to or well, I say watching, but I mean it could be on just while driving or whatever, but at least consuming in some form the content that I'm putting online. It's just such a global reach with YouTube. Oh, actually, here, let's get this person moved over. So so that's good news. So look, we barely used any seed or fertilizer. Has my luck changed? I think we were just like burning through stuff, and now it seems like we're doing pretty good. And actually, I shouldn't have said the L word, luck, because we're about to. I'm going to get seed in here anyways, because we're about to head across the road, and I'm going to set this on a worker, and I'm going to hope like hell that we don't have any issues. I'm just going to deke around here so we limit our on-road exposure. Alright, so I should also be able to just use a worker over here. Okay, so there's side road. Okay, main road's here. This will be interesting as they go through this section here, but we'll put it on a bunch of headlands. If they want to go up and down that hill, that's fine. We have tons of horsepower. Almost feel like more headlands the better. We'll keep it to 3. Be careful not to get run over. I swear the workers do that just to feel important. You like put them in a good position, and then they kind of shuffle around. Okay. He dodged the power pole there, so we might have to go clean up that little edge. But yeah, they shuffle around and end up in the exact same position that you started him in. Did he just skip over the road here? Huh. Yeah, the guy didn't plant anything in the road here. But it clearly shows as a field, so that's weird. Okay, well anyways, it looks like we'll have a little bit of work to do to clean up, which is fine, right? No problem. This thing takes a second to get going. Well, what is it? It's 4:35 right now. We've got the time set to 1, which is not ideal, but it is what it is. This field is going to look pretty dang nice once we get the roller through here. So I think what I'm going to do is cruise through this and then meet back up with you all once we're on the next field. Likely at that point it'll be planted and we can just hit it with the roller, and the planter will be on the sort of last field over there, and then we'll have had what I can only deem to be a fairly successful day after what honestly when I left so yesterday's, well, I say yesterday, earlier on in the episode, which yesterday in real life and earlier on in this episode, just felt like a bit of a cluster. I don't know. Things were kind of a bit of a disaster, and I think I really got thrown off when the fields weren't being recognized, and then the cultivator, I think I said I had some bad feelings about it. Well, and it turned out to be a bit challenging, but yeah, it was it did not feel like a very smooth start. So if we can have a nice easy planting here, get everything rolled up, and put all of our new tractors away at the end of the day without any more incidences, then I think I'll be happy, and things will be good. But yeah, so let's check in once we get this all rolled up. I just checked in a little bit earlier here, so obviously I'm not done rolling this side here, but if you look at it, actually that was not the road, the previous road that the AI worker skipped. It was actually a patch. Man, it wasn't the road. So I thought they skipped the road, but you can see right there that they are planting the road. So for some reason there's a patch over there they didn't like. I'm curious too to see how they handled that corner back over there. Remember we took the tree out of it? It looks like, I mean, I don't see any lime on the ground over there, which is usually a good tell that something's been through there, but we'll only know when we get up there to take a good look at it. But anyways, yeah, I just thought I'd check in. It was kind of funny that I was just looking and realizing that that it wasn't actually the road that they skipped. So it's just weird how that stuff happens. But I guess that is also, I forget sometimes, whoa, I should watch where I'm going. I forget sometimes that there are people still having a glitchy experience with FS25. We gotta get this little patch here where we put the seeds in afterwards. But yeah, so I sort of take for granted that that there are still a number of bugs out there. I just find, for the most part, everything's so enjoyable. And then you start to remember, you're like, oh yeah, well there's that thing where the trees stick in the ground, and then there's that thing where, you know, your forks stick in the ground, and it's like, oh yeah, that bug and that bug. But I think for the most part, the enjoyment level is high enough that it kind of drowns all that stuff out to a certain extent anyways. But anyways, we are still scheduled to check back in when we get to the next field, so bye. All right, there's the final pass, maybe? Yes, I missed a tiny square right here. So I know when we check the map, you're going to see there's a few spots that we missed. So let's just look here. All right, so we are all planted here. This guy is more or less done. Look, it looks like he got right to the corners too, which is good. Well, we'll go check that to make sure that that's actually the case. Yeah, look, we maximized right to the edge of the land that we own. That's actually pretty good. So yeah, I definitely think we made the most of this property over here. Wow. This one here, I mean, we know that it's hilly and stuff, so eventually we could probably expand it a little bit more, but I don't want to create any problems for ourselves. Okay, over here now, yeah, you'll see where we missed a few places here. Obviously, we missed a few places. Actually, so this we missed with lime, and there's a couple places that say watered. What is watered? But anyways, needs rolling. You can see a couple spots that we missed with that. No big deal, but all the weeds, I think for the most part, the weed notifications are gone. So this section here, so for some reason this side, so this obviously the previous farmers must have, I don't know which side's better, whether this side's better or, yeah, I don't know which side needs fertilization, which side doesn't, but it looks like we're going to have to come in and find some alternative fertilization, or maybe get a fertilizer spreader and come in with some fertilizer to take care of the rather large chunks that are going to be 50% fertilized. Let's just set this on a worker, and then we'll go take care of the planter there. We're getting into golden hour here. There you go. Why am I saying weeds growing here? Alright, so here it says weeds growing, needs rolling, 95%. Even though I just rolled, it's still saying weeds growing. Why is it different everywhere? Because based on what I saw in the last field, this should no longer say weeds growing. All right, well, if that's the case and we need to figure out a way to come in and spray for weeds, we will. But maybe that'll be something we can do in the second day of February as part of the next episode. So yeah, look at this guy, got right to the edge. Good job. So the only piece that looks like it was missed is right over here. So we'll get this and then we'll get into the next field. I don't know whether it's the contour of the land and that's why it's not planting there. Yeah, maybe it's just a flex. Maybe it doesn't flex that much because that works when I come this way. Who knows? It's one of those mysteries. Okay, 258 liters of solid fertilizer. I guess we'll go get some, and in the worst cases, if we have to eject it and keep the pallets, we will. I don't want to run the risk of. It's not really a risk because it's not going to affect us in any negative way if we have to stop planting and get some fertilizer, but we know we're going to need the fertilizer in the future anyway, so we might as well just go get some. I am certain that I won't need any seeds, because when we've used, in those two massive fields, we've used 50% of the seeds that we have. So I'm pretty sure in the last field we're not going to use more. We'll use more seeds, but we won't use too much, I guess is what I was thinking. Okay, maybe for some reason it's not going to let us access the fertilizer until we get the seeds taken care of. So if we're already full, use some of our stock here. Now maybe it'll let us put fertilizer in there. Yeah, fertilizer. That was weird. $1,900 worth of fertilizer. Just missed the fence. Yeah, I wonder why that. I mean, that's kind of unfortunate, but whatever. It is what it is. It's not like this. It's not like this stuff goes bad. And I don't mind farting around with that a little bit because we do have. I mean, we've got somebody working on rolling anyways. Did they do? Does that look like they did 2 headlands already? I guess they must have. I don't know. Maybe they just switched directions. They're doing headlands the other way. I don't know. Who knows? Honestly, as long as the workers get it done, I don't really care how they do it. Wow, look at the different soil types here, or the textures here. We're going to be all over the place here. And that's just going to be because we took out, yeah, look at 72, 95. This ground is crazy over here because we had obviously all kinds of different stuff. We took bushes out, we took trees out, we had sort of like scrub brush, we had grass. There was already a field here, there wasn't. Like, this is quite varied over here. So, but anyways, once it's growing and once it's rolled and growing, then it'll be awesome. It'll be all right. So yeah, we're into the nice part of the day here. What is it? 5 o'clock in February. So actually, if this was here, like where I live right now, it'd be pitch black probably. February. You know what? February, I think the days are starting to get a little bit longer. It's really in December. Like we hit those long dark days. Now I probably have nothing to complain or compare when you get into some of the Scandinavian countries where you guys have, you know, what, 24 hours of darkness at some point, like depending on where you're at. That is wild. Or even if it's not 24 hours, where you have like an hour or 2 of light and then the rest is all dark. That messes with your mind a little bit. And then I imagine it on the flip side of that, where you have the extended light in the summertime. That might not be what it's all that's cracked up to be, because some people can't go to sleep when it's light outside. So I mean, you can put blinds down and stuff, but it's hard just mentally to shut off when it's light outside. So yeah, you guys don't necessarily always have it easy, I'm sure. But anyways, in game, it is like I said, golden hour here around 5 o'clock in February. So everything's got that nice kind of warm hue to it. Do you want to make any predictions about when we think we'll see a harvester go into the river here? I hope I don't lose a $500,000 cotton harvester into the river. That'll be the next thing too. So I wonder if, I don't know, like financially we should probably consider just leasing a harvester when it comes time. But you know, I guess we'll see what position we're in when we get there, or whether or not we've made like a big investment into forestry. Or I think on this map, honestly, that's a suicidal investment, because you're just, unless you're forestry, meaning that you're planting trees that are manageable and not these monsters that come on this field. You know, so like civilized forestry. But the problem is, if you want to cut down a forest here to get yourself rolling, it's going to be a lot of pain. We may, I mean, it's possible that we find a lot that we think is going to be a good cash generator for us, and plop down a new sawmill, one of the Gaming Joy sawmills, and then allow us to just drag, you know, we get one of the buncher or whatever, and we just drag logs into it. That might be the only real civilized way of dealing with it. Like, even, actually, sorry, that's not a crazy idea, but that lot we were talking about right over between us and the paper mill right now, you can see. So there's a bit of a field right there, but then all the way behind it, there's a massive forest. So if we put a sawmill kind of right on the edge of the forest and just started cutting down trees, if we had even this tractor here, if we threw the big winch on the back of it, there's only one really, but if we threw a winch on the back of it, this thing likely has enough horsepower that it could just drag those trees right into the sawmill, and then we'd be killing it. That actually might be how I generate a lot of money to fund that next farm. And then once we're done there, you just destroy the sawmill and you know, make it a field, and then perhaps grab a planter and go plant, you know, 1,000 saplings up in that land that you've now forested, and then that could be that could be some cash for us. So what you've seen often, these sort of thoughts end up being reality. So that might actually become reality. I just don't know where we find $200,000 to buy that property. And actually, as I say that, likely by the time May hits and we're ready to sell off the fabric, I mean, well, 10 pallets of fabric are going to be around 50 grand. So that's not quite there. I don't know, whatever. We'll figure it out. I mean, there's always a way to make money, right? Even though we're in hard economy and we're limiting ourselves in certain ways, there's definitely ways to make money, so I'm not too worried. So in the interest of time, I'm going to cruise through the rest of the seeds here, and then we'll probably finish up the rolling on this field together as we hit darkness, is my guess, and that would be a pretty successful day 1 of February, I think. All right, we are in the final chunk here of planting, which is pretty awesome. The sky looks amazing. Yeah, I knew this field would be a good field. Look at that. That looks great. Anyways, yeah, so this planter's been amazing. I could see if this came up used that we would end up purchasing one like this. I really, the 9-meter working width is good. I mean, of course you'd want something larger if possible, but if we end up with smaller fields somewhere, like this thing would be great around our yard if we change our grass fields around the yard into cotton fields, for example. Although then we got to worry about getting a cotton harvester in those little areas. But there's a couple little tiny spots here that are missed by somebody. I don't know who. But yeah, once this is done, the workers over there just about getting closer to finishing the rolling, which is good. And then I'll be over here to roll. So I think actually what I'm going to do is we're probably going to end the episode here, because if I push it any further, we're going to be rolling in the dark, and I might as well just get that done, and we can reconvene. So I was not sure what we were going to do with fold that, get the wheels down. We need to get this over to our yard so we can get the material out of it, and then we'll return the lease. But yeah, so in the month, the next episode, I think would probably still pick up in the month of February. I was a little unsure what we needed to do, but now I'm seeing that, you know, if, for example, yeah, see, it's still weeds growing here. So I think what we might do is something we were doing on FS22. We were putting seeds in the ground and then immediately spraying. We were doing that a lot on comlands, and it worked out perfectly. We never had any weeds, so I'm assuming that works the same way here. So I think maybe in February what we'll do is we'll get ourselves a sprayer, and we'll come in here and we'll spray all these fields for weeds, and then we will. So as you saw, like half of each of these big fields say 100% fertilized, and the other half says 50% fertilized. So I think what we'll do is also get a some type of additional fertilizer spreader. Maybe it's another sprayer or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we will then go in and get the fertilizing state to 100%. Let's go over to the open area over here. But yeah, I think that makes sense. So then we know that our fields are as good as they could possibly be. All right, let's see how this works. Oh, that was civilized. More pallets. Okay, let me pop in the menu and return this. All right, so right there. Really enjoyed using that. It was fantastic, but it's got to go. And look, yeah, here's what I was talking about. So we have, I don't know which half. I'm assuming it's the light blue half that needs to be fertilized further. I don't know. We'll find out anyways. Regardless of what it is, we'll make sure that everything's fertilized good. All of the, yeah, I mean, according to this, although maybe this last strip here is what's going on in here. Anyways, according to this, it doesn't look like we need to do any weeding at all. So maybe it's a bug, but maybe we'll spray just to be on the safe side to make sure that we don't run into any issues. Because I don't want our first attempt at growing cotton to end up failing because, you know, we didn't. We sort of decided to assume that something was a bug, and that turned out not to be. Let's park this beast back here. And we'll close the episode out on our rolling friend here. Still has some work to do. So obviously I'm going to be on the map for a little while longer after you guys leave. Look at that. And yeah, we'll catch up in the next one. So thanks so much, guys. We're now into 2025. Don't know what it's going to do for us as my normal, regular, everyday work starts to pick up again here. This will become more challenging, but I think if in the long run we can maintain like 3 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and maybe the odd, like I mentioned, if I can, you know, find a new map that we can start to live stream on, then you know, maybe there'll be still an opportunity for some interaction there. So. Please hit the comment section as you often do, and let me know what you think. And honestly, if I don't think I've really ever said this on the channel, maybe I have, but if you're one of the people that are watching this and you haven't subscribed and you don't mind hitting the button, that would be amazing. I'm starting to see that yes, indeed, that actually does help the channel, especially when it's monetized. And you know, let's say I could put anything that's made back into the channel somehow. I don't really know how I could do that, but if I can figure out a way to do it, then I definitely will. So other than that, thanks so much, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you soon.